What is up, everybody? It's been a minute. Happy fight week. UFC Australia. What is it? 293. Adesanya versus Strickland in the land down under. Kind of a quiet fight week until today. Press conference kind of got a little heated. Not really by Izzy and Strickland, but just little dude Kape talking a little crazy. Thought Izzy was gonna sleep him there for a second. Sean Strickland wilding out during the week. They said he punched somebody during the week. I mean, can't just like do that, but whatever. You can't.
I saw that. It kind of got over exaggerated. He just kind of gave him a body shot.
I for sure thought that
about it. Yeah.
It
was because I don't think he would have been talking about it if it was like some Uncle Chael type stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dude Strickland's a character, man. He's got a good thing going. He's definitely gaining some traction. I think it will get shut down this weekend. But with that being said, I think it's been a fun fight week so far.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock. I'm kind of getting excited for a couple other fights on the card. I kind of really wait for any other fights, but the more this goes on, ready to rock. So let's get into it, baby. UFC 293 super preview. Here we go. Our first fight of the night: Kevin Jalset versus Kiefer Crosby, welterweight match. Should be the Viper, but we'll rock with Kevin. So in this fight here, Kevin making his UFC debut. City Kickboxing, minus 155. I'm gonna go with. I like Kevin in this fight. We'll put the official bets up at the end, but yeah, I like Kevin in this fight. Did you watch any tape on this fight or any research on this fight or not?
No, I honestly don't have any research, but I also like the CKB Aussie. I think we saw it last week in the France card, and we're going to see it again. These dudes go hard in their hometown. Obviously, you're going hard no matter what. But when that crowd's behind you and you're just able to
first fight of the night.
Yes, first fight of the night. And
it's the first fight. That's what I'm saying.
No, he's not
fight of the night in your hometown.
Oh no, wait, I'm tripping. Jusette's not. Says Jusette's a freaking from France, but trains in City Kickboxing, so still gets to like stay at home, use the gym. Because I feel like when fighters travel internationally, it kind of throws your fight week out of whack because you're dealing with a whole lot of other things, jet lag, whereas these guys don't really have to break their these guys don't really have to break their routines at all. They're there, and he's a slight favorite. Stylistically, I like it. Like you said, the Viper's better than both of these guys. He should be fighting, and man, we'll get into that later, but some real bullshit going on in the Australian MMA scene right now.
Our next fight, Shane Young, minus 170 versus Gabriel Miranda. Shane Young is minus 170, Gabriel Miranda plus 145. Shane Young's 13-7, coming off, I think, 3 straight losses when I did the research. 3 straight losses.
Yeah.
Gabriel Miranda's coming off winning 3 out of his last 4. He lost to St. Dennis. We know how good St. Dennis looks. For these odds, like one of these where I don't really like the line, so I'll take the guy who's 3 years older. 33 is not old in the UFC, and who is the guy's 5'11", finds someone who's 5'8". So I like the underdog here, and just give me Miranda.
Bro, I completely agree. Just with Miranda's only had 1 UFC fight, and he lost, but I don't think we can really judge him for losing to Benoit. So. Yeah, I completely agree. I think Young, he's good, but he just hasn't really shown that he's going to stick around in this featherweight division in the UFC as of now.
13-7 is not a good record, bro. 13-7 is not.
And he's been in the UFC for 6 years. He's 2-4 in the UFC. So, yeah, bro, out a little bit out with the old and with the new in terms of UFC careers. So give me Miranda on this one as well. I was kind of surprised that he was an underdog. I thought it would have been closer to even money.
Yeah, definitely. Our next fight, we got Blood Diamond versus Charlie Ratticki. I I'm not laying minus 330 on someone I don't know enough about it. I'm also never betting a cent on Blood Diamond, so just stay away from this one, folks.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I'd bet under 2.5 rounds, but then Blood Diamond could also just go out there and spaz his way to a decision loss. So I really, gosh, man,
if Blood Diamond
Izzy had me hyped.
If Blood loses and goes to 3-3, he's got to be out, right?
Yeah, bro, 3-3 MMA record, not even 3-3 UFC record, 3-3 MMA.
Yeah,
and
not it.
Gosh, man, that's what having Izzy as a teammate will do for you in your career.
Yeah.
Compared to the Viper, who's in the same exact weight class. Yes, he had a good kickboxing career, but come on now, man.
Yeah.
Let's give some real possible contenders a shot here. So stay away from me as well. Maybe I'll be feeling something on the day of the fight. I will throw Radkit some parlays, probably.
Yeah, I think he's in my parlay at the end. We'll see. Our next fight, we have Nasrat Parasats versus Landon Quinones coming off the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that.
These dudes coming up. He's fighting one of the first fighters that was non championship fight. So I like him. 7-1. I don't like him enough to win, but yeah, I think he could be. I think he's young, still figuring it out. So maybe he puts on a show, stays in the big show.
Yeah, I mean, Nasrat's a good matchup for him, but he's a vet. It's gonna be tough. I mean, we saw who did Quinones fight on the Ultimate Fighter? Was he the one that got knocked out by Cody Gibson or no?
It was in the first round. He got finished. I remember.
I think it might have been the knee to Cody Gibson, but I can't say for sure. And he was the one that was kind of trash talking with Roosevelt in like the first episode, right?
Yeah.
Saying like, "Oh, all you vets are washed. We're gonna run this thing." That was a terrible take by him at the time. But I did see some potential in Landon, but I agree with you. I don't think he wins this one. I think Nasrat's going to do enough to win this by decision. I think Landon might go out there, put on a good fight. It might be an exciting one, but yeah, I see Haqparast by decision, which is what Vegas thinks as well. I think. Let me double check.
Yeah. He's like it's the over 2.5 is like big favorite, I think. Or it's like not big favorite, but yeah. But I mean, yeah, he goes to decision. Our next fight, Jimmy Malarkey versus John Makdessi. Malarkey's minus 270, Makdessi's plus 220. I am all over Jimmy Malarkey here. I just think he's the better fighter. Vegas knows.
Yeah. The age difference as well. I mean, Malarkey's 29 years old right now. Yes, he's coming off a loss, but he's 5-2, or I mean 3-2 in his last 5. So that's still solid. And how do you say that? I'm gonna butcher it. Makdessi, he's also coming off of a loss. He's 3-2 in his last 5 as well, but he's 38 years old compared to 29. So give me that 29-year-old, especially when it's at lightweight. I think it's an even bigger advantage. That speed's just going to be too much to deal with.
Yeah. Our next fight, we have Jack Jenkins versus Chepe Mariscal. I am actually going to go with Mariscal here, plus 175. He's won 4 out of his last 5. I like his last win over Trevor Peek. Again, I mean, a favorite's got to lose eventually. I think this is a step up for Jack Jenkins. He hasn't really fought no one at this level. His last fight was a split decision, could have gone either way, so he hasn't really been dominant. So yeah, I'll go with Chepe here.
Yeah, Chepe looked very, very, very good against Trevor Peek. He showed composure in that fight because Peek was coming at him like a madman, just eating shots left and right. And Chepe was able to just keep the distance and keep battering him all the way up until the end of that fight. So he's definitely proven that he can handle a fire. Jenkins does have some of the meanest leg kicks in all of MMA, though. I saw this podcast clip where he was talking about it, and I think he said he had a streak where he had broken, like, at 1.6 out of his last 7 opponents' legs in the fight, like some sort of fracture or break or just something. And that's insane. That just shows what these dudes are going through. Even when they finish the fight out there, They might still have a broken bone that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
Another thing that makes this the best sport in the world. But with all that being said, I like the plus money on Chepe here. I
Yeah.
agree. And
We're agreeing here today.
I was gonna say it's natural too. We didn't even talk
We're-
about this.
We're agreeing here today. Our next fight, we got another CKB, Carlos Ulberg minus 280 versus Dawon Jung. Would I bet Ulberg? No. Do I think Ulberg's gonna win? Yes. Would I bet Jung? No. But I think it's one of these where it's like a coin toss, and I think they're just gonna stand in the middle and throw. So with that, I'm taking Ulberg to win. I think Ulberg wins, but I like the under 1.5 here.
I was gonna say, I'm looking for the odds on it right now, but give me Ulberg first round KO. I'm calling my shot. I'm calling my snipe.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not texting or anything like Steiny right now. I'm just looking for the odds on the first round KO from Ulberg. Come on. Plus 145. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm happy losing that bet, even if he knocks him out in the second, because I'm just confident that, like you said, they're going to stand in the middle, and I think Ulberg's a far superior striker, and we've seen how dangerous he is in the first round of fights, especially.
Yeah.
I think when he lost to, was it Chris Curtis that he lost to in that crazy fight, or was that Kennedy? It was Chris Curtis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, lost to Curtis when he was beating him up and then just kind of ran out of energy. I think he's learned now how to either get a guy out of there or save enough energy to continue fighting, but I think he prefers to get guys out of there. That's what he's going to do now. Give me plus 145, Carlos Ulberg, first round KO/TKO.
I like it. Okay. Our next fight, I think this starts the pay-per-view, or does Ulberg the pay-per-view? Or no, I missed it. Tyson Pedro's next, starting kicking on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Tyson Pedro versus Anton Turkalj. Anton kind of misunderstood in this, I think, because he has lost his last two. But before that, he was really solid. I think Pedro here is slightly overvalued. I had a feeling here. I woke up with the feeling the other day, and I've been on it ever since. I'm going to rock with Anton here to win. I think Anton's a brawler. He'll stand in there. He can take Tyson. Tyson's going to come fast. If Anton survives the first round, he can win it. So I'm betting on him to survive the first round and then win it in the second and third. So give me Anton.
Okay. This is going to be our first disagreement of the day because I'm rocking with Tyson Pedro in this one. I heard on Volk's YouTube channel, he was saying that before Pedro's last fight, he had a pretty nasty stomach infection. He was just up all night, throwing up, fight day, throwing up, and he was cutting weight. Obviously, excuses are made quite frequently in this game, but I don't think Volkanovski is the type of guy that, would just stick his neck out for someone like that if it wasn't true.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I don't know, dude. I like Pedro. I think he's just a better fighter all around. And I think for the reasons you said, he's really dangerous in that first round. And I just think Pedro is going to be able to get it done. I like Pedro inside the distance as well here. He's definitely not just worth, that money line bet. So I ain't got a bankroll like that. But let me see what Pedro inside the distance would be. I don't know why I don't just keep this page up on my phone. Tyson Pedro inside the distance plus 155. I like that a lot as well. So
Okay.
that'll be our first disagreement of the day, I think. Yeah. Crazy. It took this long.
I know. Our next fight, we get to Justin Tafa. His brother's coming off a big win versus Austin Lane. A rematch of this fight ended in a no contest. Justin Tafa minus 220, Austin Lane plus 180. I am going to go the underdog here, Austin Lane. You know me, I like the taller guys. Pause. 6'6" Lane is to Tafa's 6 foot. Before the no contest, Lane won his last 4 by knockout. Again, only one was in the UFC Contender Series. So, yeah, but I mean, it's 35. to Tafa's 29, little grown man strength. So I'll take a nibble here with a little underdog.
Yeah, I like Lane as well in this one. Former NFL D lineman, I think it was. I never knew him in his football career, but
Practice squad guy.
probably just a good athlete, though. You have to be, obviously, if you're going to make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
So when someone like that puts their time into MMA and they really, work at it, usually good things happen. And I don't think Tafa's good, but I like Lane for the plus money here as well.
Got it. Okay.
One more thing before we move on. In the press conference, Anton Turkaj and Tyson Pedro, they had a pretty freaking weird interaction. Anton, his nickname is the Pleasure Man.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
You saw that? He's like, you're
gonna feel the pleasure or something like that.
Yeah, and Pedro's like, I don't want to feel the pleasure.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know, it was funny though. There's a big pause moment.
Our third fight from the top, we got a now interesting fight. Manel Kape versus Felipe Dos Santos got a little heated in the presser. Kape was on some shit, man. He really wasn't even going at Santos. He was going at Izzy. He was going at the whole CKB.
Kai Kara more than anyone.
Yeah. Kai Kara calling Kai Kara a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, while sitting next to Izzy is crazy.
Take some balls. You got to give it to him.
But I mean, come on, bro. Like,
nothing's gonna happen.
He knew what could Izzy really do.
Yeah. It's not like it's maybe if it was Sean Strickland and he was saying that to Chris Curtis, you'd be a little less hesitant just because that guy's got the loose screws. But someone like Izzy, obviously, he's not just going to be a spaz.
Yeah.
But, bro, I mean, Kape did a good job putting eyes on himself and on this fight now.
He for sure gets like a Kai Kara France fight now. I mean, he already had one basically, but they for sure, I think that definitely do that now. If not, he gets a bigger fight. With that, I like Kape inside the distance. I think he knocks him out early. I think it's under 2.5. I laid a lot of juice. We'll show after this, but Kape big favorite, but I think he gets the job done. It's too good.
Yeah, I was thinking the one thing that could be a problem for him is if he lets all of this kind of get in his head and he's thinking about that instead of the fight. But I kind of think it's going to work in his advantage, and he's just going to be so fired up. He's just going to take it all out on his opponent in this one.
Yeah,
especially short notice guy. He's a big favorite for a reason. And for anyone that missed the press conference, here's a video of a little clip of him throwing something at Kai Kara France in the crowd. It's pretty quick.
Man, he was on some shit, bro.
The form was good, but it was headed right at Kai Kara. Obviously, he's going to be able to get out of the way, but kind of threw it like a girl, but it was straight and on point.
Yeah. Any chance Santos wins or no? You don't see it?
No, I don't see it. I think Kape is a guy.
Yeah,
flyweight.
I agree. Our co-main event of the evening. Is it even? I mean, okay, I get the second fight's always the co-main, but like,
there's just a lot of other fights on this card. It's crazy, man. I wish they could have got JDM and Holland on this.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, but anyway, tied Bam Bam Tuivasa plus 205 versus Alexander Volkov minus 250. I was all over Volkov in the beginning of the week. Obviously, I would never lay 250, but he was for sure like in my parlays. But as the week goes on, I'm just like, it's never know with Tai Tuivasa. So I bitched out and I played it. I played under 1.5 here.
It almost gives a little like Volkov Delu vibes for obvious reasons. Tai and Delu are pretty similar fighters, but I could see Volkov kind of just dancing around, piecing him up until he isn't. And in the Derek Lewis fight, obviously it was legendary because it was seconds before the final bell.
Yeah. The thing with Tai is when he fights guys like Volkov who are kind of like, obviously Volkov's knockout wants to be a knockout first. He's one of his last
technicians though.
But yeah, he's more of like a technician. So like when he fought someone like Cyril, they'll just stand and throw for 5 rounds and they'll just be super technical. So the problem with Tai in those fights is like he fights these guys, but he applies so much pressure that eventually you just have to knock him out. That's how it was with Searle. Like Searle didn't. I mean, obviously Searle wants to knock him out, but those dudes want to just like be technical, and they just like eventually just have to knock him out because you take so much punishment. Kind of just like we just saw with Spivak.
Spivak.
Yeah, it's just like he
That
just takes
body
so much
work.
punishment eventually. Yeah. So I think that's what happens here is like Volkov's too sharp and technical to get knocked out by Bam, as far as like getting caught and like, but so yeah, I think he just eventually Bam just gets tired and then it's just the knockout's just there for Volkov to take. But yeah, so but again, I could definitely see just Bam going in there and winning the first exchange and not dropping him. But yeah, so I got scared, so I played under 1.5.
I'm going the opposite way. Just because I honestly really like the odds for what it is. We got Alexander Volkov to win by decision plus 350. I would think that.
I just don't see Bam going to decision.
Yeah, it's a 3-rounder though. This fight against Cyril was 5, right?
Bam?
Yeah.
Yeah, ended in 3.
Cyril gone. Okay, so yeah, that's true, especially in front of his home crowd. I don't know. I think Bam's a really tough guy, and I don't think Volkov is quite as powerful as Gon is in terms of being able to get people out of there.
Yeah.
So I could see Volkov just really putting a beating on him for 3 rounds, but Ty being able to survive until the bell. And then me cashing that Volkov by decision bet. So that's what I'm going to play here.
All right, I like it. Now we get to our main event of the evening. Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. Not the fight that we were expecting. We thought it was going to be your boy Driscus. That lasted for about a couple of days. That hype train derailed quick. People were picking him to win, and then they just didn't want to fight. So that ended real quick again. I hope he never gets that fight. But yeah, so what happens when you just lap the division. You kind of just guys who are ranked 5 just get shots, So this one, like I said, I think a couple episodes ago, it scares me just because of like how easy it looks from the outside looking in. But that's just not how Izzy's wired. I don't think Sean can. I just think it's a bad matchup because I think Izzy's toughest matchups are guys that apply pressure, like Pereira, like a Gastelum, guys like that apply pressure. And Sean is that guy that applies pressure, but I don't think Sean can hurt Izzy. I don't think Sean has the power to knock Izzy out.
And Sean's chin isn't anywhere near the level of Pereira's and Gastelum's. We've heard Sean say it himself. He has a glass chin. He has
kind of how I said the last fight. Like I think eventually Izzy's just gonna have to knock him out because it's gonna be too much because Sean's just gonna like keep coming forward, and I just think that's what it's gonna be. So I'm rocking with my guy, the last style bender, and still not that I'm looking forward past this fight, but it's just I don't know who's next after this.
Yeah, this one definitely doesn't have the same feel as honestly almost all of Izzy's fights before this one because he found a way to hype everyone up. But this one, it's almost like the trash talking is what's hyping it up, and no one's even really putting much effort into giving Strickland a chance inside the cage. But that, dude, I feel like in this sport, that is when it's the most dangerous, kind of like Leon Kamaru too, or even if you want to go back to Rockhold Bisping, I've heard people say that.
That's why I'm scared.
It does have a little weird feeling like that. And Strickland also is just a guy that you look in the storybook of the UFC, seems like sometimes when those characters like a Michael Bisping, I keep going back to that example. Just, I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think he has a higher chance than some people are saying just because of like the vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, I'm not going to be betting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
so, go ahead.
Yeah, dude. As an Izzy fan, do you just I mean, I guess you already said you're kind of like looking past it, but is it as hard to get up for this one? Like, you can't.
No, it feels different than like the last, like, who was it? Like Pereira, and who was before that? Cannonier.
Yeah.
So Cannonier was International Fight Week, so that whole week's always just big. So I felt that, and then obviously the two Pereira fights just felt different for multiple reasons. And it's like a nervousness, and it's like a like hype, like one of those ones where you say, I can't believe we get to watch this. We're blessed to watch this.
Yeah.
This one is just like, okay, he's one of my favorite athletes, and I get to see him 3 times a year, so I got to value the times I get to see him. Like, I'm just going to enjoy the performance and enjoy who he is and watching him. I'm not, and that's kind of why I'm like nervous, because I'm not nervous, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have that like fear that I do like when the bell rings versus Pereira, or like, so the nostalgia's not there. Yeah, the nostalgia's not there. But again, I'm always excited to see one of the best to ever do it. So, especially in a sport where you only get to see guys 2-3 times a year. So,
yeah, man, Izzy we say it all the time, but it's the perfect champion for the UFC. Just the amount of times that he fights, how he'll fight anybody, gives people rematches. Like, he's found a way to be a company man and still get everything for himself that he would need to. It's like they've worked together perfectly, kind of the path that Suga's on right now. So, yeah, man, I heard Izzy say it in the press conference. He said, yeah, I mean, I think he does have that pressure style that Gastelum has, but he just doesn't have the chin, because Gastelum was taking one to give one in that fight. As simple as that. I think Strickland's down to do that. He's crazy enough to do it, but his chin, it's just not there. It's a God-given thing to a certain extent. He works on it a lot in sparring, but I don't know if that helps or hurts.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's get into our picks. At first, though, let's put up our Paris picks.
Yeah, I was gonna say
finally in the green. We're negative, but we're back to negative in the triple digits.
Come on.
Gomez saved me. Bad bet by Spivak. St. Denis was big. I wanted to bet super huge on Ozdemir as well. Got scared. Then we finally hit a parlay. We usually always miss one.
Yeah.
We finally hit a parlay, so let's rock, baby. But let's go. We're up 130 from last week, minus 994 overall. We're getting there slowly, so let's put the picks up for this week, baby. Here we go. First fight of the night, Kevin Jousset, minus 155. We are risking 50 to win 32. Then we're hopefully playing with house money as we get to Gabriel Miranda. The next fight, underdog plus 145, 30 to win 43. Quinones versus Hawkwas Parsrats. All of his fights go to decision. He's a big favorite. How does he win? He wins by decision. So let's take that fight to go to decision. Buy ourselves some time. Over 2.5 at minus 145. I'll take it. And then we go the underdog again. Chepe Mariscal plus 145. We're going to go 30 to win 43. And then we are hoping Oberg and Jung stand in the middle and brawl in the first round. We get the under there at minus 115. 50 to win 43. And then we're going with Anton. What was his nickname again? Pleasure
Man.
50 to win 43. If hopefully I win big this week, I'll please myself. Austin Lane plus 180. We're going 30 to win 54. Rematch of that one. Underdog. Let's rock. And then we got Campe Santos, our biggest bet, second biggest bet, tied for first biggest bet, on the card. I think you're giving me 2.5 rounds for him to finish a guy in his UFC debut. I'm going to take that all the time. We're going to go 100 to 155 there. And then Volkov and Ty. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if it's under 1.5, maybe Ty has a shot to win, but I'm just hoping that they stand in there and brawl. One guy goes to sleep early. 2 heavyweights, 2 big dudes in the octagon. Under 1.5, minus 115. I have to take that when Ty's fighting. And then we're gonna get a little juicy here. We're gonna go Izzy in round 3 plus 650, 32.
Oh, Mystic.
I wanted a 3-4-5. I couldn't find it. Maybe it's there by fight week. But again, I think the round is either 3 or 4. I think 1 and 2 is. I think Sean's tough enough for 2. I think look at it like this.
So when Izzy puts the information into the computer too.
Yeah, I think 1 is I respect Sean enough to give him round 1, not win it, but he survives round 1. Same for 2. I think round 2, Izzy starts to get going a little bit. Pressure comes on. Skip ahead, round 5. No one really knocks somebody out in round 5. So then you look at 3 and 4, and then I just think middle of 3 is the perfect time for Izzy to find that chin, baby.
Come on.
Let's go Izzy round 3. Little sprinkle. And then our big bet is Izzy inside the distance, minus 130, 100 to win 76. That's the best bet. I mean,
I think that's a great bet, dude.
Yeah,
Because
that's the best
Strickland's
bet.
he's not gonna leave it in the judge's hands. I don't think. Like, if he's still standing after a couple rounds, he's gonna be going balls to the wall, and Izzy finds a way to finish people when they do that.
Yeah,
Every time, pretty much.
yeah.
Every time someone's tried to walk down or I don't know, I guess for a better word, like charge Izzy, he's almost always put him out of there.
Yeah. Let's throw a parlay up. I have the parlay
Fights
left.
where neither guy wants to engage. Oh, my bad.
You're good. I looked, man. I tried to get juicy. I really couldn't find much. As far as what I liked in a parlay, your parlays are kind of like what you guarantee. So I got Kape, Izzy, Fading Blood Diamond with Ratiki, and then Hako Parset, 50 to win 107. I don't know. I wanted to go big on a parlay. I couldn't find it. Sometimes it's not there. You don't really got to force it. Sometimes it's not there. Don't force it. But yeah, that's my plays. Let's rock, baby.
I like it.
I like this betting card a lot.
There's some close fights. There's some big lines, some juicy dogs, some everything.
Okay, so one bold prediction, hot take that we'll be talking about when we come back on the air on Monday from the card on Saturday.
That's tough. Like, which one of these guys can really make headlines like that besides the main eventers?
Yeah.
It
could be Dana dropping some news. It could be anything.
Oh, just like anything UFC related?
Yeah. Anything that happens between now and Monday, you know how it goes.
Okay. I'm gonna say Sugar versus I guess Sugar versus Cheeto being announced wouldn't even be that big for December 15th because Sugar already kind of said it.
It'd be big news, but it wouldn't get announced.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you got something for me.
I honestly don't. I was hoping you were gonna say something and then you weren't gonna ask me because I don't have anything.
It's a great question, but
when I said it, I was like, "Fuck!" And now I'm gonna have to answer. I don't have anything.
It's too good of a question.
Yeah. Well, it's just like a non-story. Yeah. None of those, like you said, none of those guys in the undercard or below the main event can really make any storylines that we're going to be talking about. I mean, like, I think if Bam knocks out Volkov, we're not surprised.
If Volkov pieces Bam up, it's not like, oh, he's going to go out there and challenge Sergey.
I mean, Kape, I guess, but we expect him to go out there and do quick work.
Maybe Carlos Ulberg, we're saying he's a guy.
How badly? I don't want to say badly because I'm trying to find the proper words to use here. But if CKB goes out and doesn't have a great record, is that shit kind of done? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it like we can't keep giving you these fights. We can't keep filling up the car with these dudes. But then it's also like, because you got to think, I'm sure Sean Shelby, Hunter Campbell, Dana White, like, they know in their heads and in their hearts they've passed up a lot of good guys for CKB guys. Like, they know that. That's just a fact. So do you think if they go out and have a bad performance, it kind of puts an end to it? Or do you just think because it's Izzy and it's always going to be like that? And respect to Izzy, because I feel like Izzy's one of the only fighters who does this and puts his guys on. Whether it's taking a job from someone or not, like, you got to look out for yours, and I respect it 100%. Everyone like that, I always say this, like, everyone who hates on other people for getting things, like
like for example, like if I was a fighter and I'm like, fuck CKB, they're not good enough. They're just on because they're Izzy. Like they're not mad at the situation. They're just mad that it's not them. Because if the roles were reversed and you were in CKB, you would gladly take the fight. So you're not mad at someone else. You're just mad that it's not you.
And it is, yeah, it's a shitty situation to be in, like definitely. But I kind of think it could be the end of the line for them getting every guy they want on the card at least, because we've seen Blood Diamond not really work out. Shane Young hasn't really worked out. There's a couple of those guys. They've got another CKB guy making his debut, and he's 7-4 or something like that. So yeah, man, there's obviously better guys in that region that
really
are getting past.
Guys, I feel like just because it's in Sydney, it's a little more amped. But yeah, I mean, I think the normal guys, Carlos Ulberg and Tyson Pedro, they're cemented UFC guys.
Oh,
no doubt about that. Those are really the only ones that ever really on his
card. If they switch gyms, they'd be fine. Yeah, as long as getting on cards and staying in the UFC.
Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, they still do have solid guys like Hooker as well.
Yeah, I think that can kind of be a big talking point for non-casual fans. Is does the CKB privilege kind of end there? A lot of pressure on them. They have to win, but
because we kind of saw that with SBG Ireland. I remember Connor would always get a lot of his guys on the cards, and they never really panned out. And now, obviously, Connor hasn't fought as much recently, but you don't see as many SBG Ireland guys in the Contender Series or in the UFC or just in general.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be an end of the road eventually. It's not like you can just keep doing it forever, because at the end of the day, they're here to get guys. And yeah, bro, some devastating news about our guy Matt the Viper Vale's fight. Got canceled against Luciano. Luciano pulled out for some non-injury related stuff. I feel like he would be on the card by now if that's what it was, right? Like he'd be on Tapology, or it would have gotten announced that they moved him up. So, man, dude, it's a brutal
tough business.
Just the fight game is a brutal one, bro. Yeah.
Sometimes you're unlucky.
Sucks to say, but we'll still be pulling for the Viper 100%. We got a fire interview with him. I don't know if I want to edit out the parts where we're like talking about the fight and all that now, because it feels weird to be like putting that in.
Yeah.
So I might do some cutting up. It was still a really funny interview. Still got to chop it up with him. Super cool dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think he's better than all four of the welterweights on the first two fights of the card. He has better records than all of them. Around the same age, younger than some of them, a little bit older than others, but it's not like any of those guys are like 22, 23 years old, or even 25, 26. So it's not like age is really the factor here. So it pisses me off at the end of the day, especially because he hasn't even been able to fight much in the last 3-4 years with COVID and then just people ducking him. So yeah, hopefully the Contender Series reaches out or something, or maybe he'll go win a milli at PFL, because I do think he's really nice.
That's the move.
What does Chael say? Fight the worst dudes for the best spot on the card and the most money.
Yeah, that's the move. You think Suga said he knows the plan? You think it's Cheeto?
Yeah, I think I saw some on Instagram where he's like, "You're up, Cheeto," or whatever. Obviously,
I
just
saw
be
that.
sending out smoke screens, but makes sense, bro. Go get yourself an easy dub. I just hope he doesn't rush into it with hurt ribs. I don't think Cheeto's gonna grapple it anyway, but say he lands a hard kick
that's
to the
why
body.
That's why I also think that's the fight. That's why I also think that's the fight in December, because it's a striking match and he's fine there. If it was I don't think he could fight Merab or Umar in December.
Yeah, we're gonna go, right? Is that Suge Mobile?
Shit,
I'm trying to go for sure, dude.
It gets announced. I gotta see Suga fight in person, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's only gonna get harder because he's not gonna become any less big of a star.
We have to see him, bro. We have to go to Zook.
Yeah, after.
Yes.
Facts. I'm not gonna be down with freaking bronchitis or pneumonia or whatever this time either. I'm gonna be here.
Yeah, we're good.
In full force.
Any plans for the fights?
Dude, I'm actually going on like a camping thing, so I'm gonna be watching on my phone. Sickening, bro. I'll be back for week 1 Sunday night, though.
I'll be. You know me. Come on this air on Monday. I'll be here. You better show up to work on Monday, buddy. You better come. You better be right here at the same spot on
I'll be
Monday.
here.
All right.
Oh, yeah. I knew it was my fault. We didn't have a show this Monday. I got a little carried away with the booze on the golf course. Made plans after. But
Little TMS or what?
dude, I kept the TMS.
No.
Didn't hit any shots out there. I wasn't doing a good job hunting my spots. Like I wasn't finding open spaces on the floor. I'd kind of just like stand on the wing when it wasn't really a good look, or I'd cut when there was a big man down there. It wasn't working out for me. So it is what it is, man. I don't look at it like a missed shot. I just look at it like a learning opportunity. Hey. So I'm going to get better. I'm going to come back next time.
You know what I say?
New tools in the bag.
I always say I've never lost. I've just ran out of time.
Facts, dude. One thing they tell me in sales is that all no means is I just need more information. So you really did just run out of time, bro.
Yeah, run out of time.
You got a college football playoff prediction for us way too early?
I do. I like Georgia's a given. I'm gonna go Georgia. Is it unfair if I say Michigan, Ohio State winner, or I gotta pick one?
You gotta pick one. I think that's kind of a given.
Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Washington.
Come on,
what?
Now. Washington?
Washington?
Heck no. Dude, they're not. I don't know if I think we play them. They're not beating USC.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, UFC's not making the playoffs.
We're not winning it all, but I think we beat everyone on our schedule.
This is your stretch of games. Notre Dame.
We're better.
At Notre Dame.
We're better.
Utah.
We're better.
At Cal, tough game. At Cal. Cal's good this year. I like Cal. They're good.
They've never given us a game.
Then you get Washington at Oregon versus UCLA. So let's just look at those 3 games. Notre Dame, Utah, Washington, Oregon. You're not winning all 4 of those.
I think we do.
No, you don't. No,
bro.
You don't.
Dude, we're just maybe I'm just thinking of the USC maybe I'm thinking of Pete Carroll USC.
Y'all better worry about Colorado.
Oh, Colorado, bro, I've been worried about Colorado. They're nice. Is Shedeur Sanders the number 2 quarterback on draft boards, or should he be? I know he wasn't even on them before that game against TCU.
What a bad look for the Pac-12 committee to let the team go with these quarterbacks, bro. You got Caleb Williams, you got Shedeur, you got Michael Penix, you got dudes out here.
DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah.
And then, bro, this is literally the best teams the Pac-12 has had in football and basketball in the last 10 years. For basketball, they have Bronny. UCLA is always popping. Arizona's always good. And yeah, it's a shame. I heard the Pac-12 got offered this big deal from ESPN, but their top guys thought that their Pac-12 network thing would be better. So they chose to go down that avenue instead. Yeah. And that was where it all kind of started to become the end. I think that's when USC and UCLA started looking for a way out because they could see that wasn't the right way to go. That's why Pac-12 games are so hard to watch. Like some of them, you can't even find them on TV. Yeah. I guess you got your Fire Stick thing, so you ain't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it makes me sad because we both grew up watching Pac-12 football. It's just kind of always on for us. It's the only thing on after 8 p.m. So I'm sad to see it go, but I'm happy that those commissioners are going to be out of a job because they're the worst people in the world. Even during COVID, they were the only conference that didn't play. Remember, all the other schools were playing, and the Pac-12 were like, no, we're good. So, yeah, they deserve it all. Yeah. It sucks. I wish the West Coast still had a way to do it. Do you think college football and basketball are going to become like pro sports eventually? Because, bro, how is the like? I feel like they're going to
just
have
like,
to
how do you feel?
separate.
Just like, how do you saying that? Just like random divisions?
They're going to have to become their own thing, like separate from the. Think about it. Like, how is USC softball going to go play Rutgers in New Jersey on a Tuesday? Or like the swim team or all those other schools, they're not bringing in money like that. They don't have these big old budgets to be flying cross country and having people take all their classes for them.
But football has that budget and basketball has that budget, so they cover for everybody.
Yeah, I feel like they should just do their own thing. Yeah, have divisions, have like a north and a south or an east and the west, and then have like
I don't know, dude. I just think there's always like, and I've always said it from the beginning, like I just think there's no right way, and whatever way someone makes, someone's gonna say it's wrong.
yeah.
Everybody wants a playoff, so we make a playoff. Now it's not enough teams. Everybody wants 8 teams. Once it goes to 8, we're going to say we want 10. Once it goes to 10, we're going to say we want 12. I think the perfect number is 8. I've always said 8's the number. I think you go your power 5s. I guess it'd just be power 4 now, and then 4 not automatic bids, but 4 wild cards from any conference. I think that's the way. So I think we need to reward winning your conference. I think you deserve notoriety for winning your conference if you're a power 4, power 5 school.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be that way. I feel like the first years of the playoffs, the Pac-12 winner was always in there getting smacked by Bama in the first round. But yeah, I'm big on like winning your conference. So I think if you win your conference, you definitely deserve to be in.
I think to a certain extent, but last year the Pac-12 was so bad, and even the ACC for a couple of years now, ever since your guy Dabo hasn't been getting it right over there.
Yeah.
But I think after it's the Big Four, all the conferences are gonna have enough teams. But I mean, like the Big 12, so there's not really any powerhouses left in there. There's a lot of solid schools. But do you put a Baylor, a TCU in, say they have like a loss and they win their conference as a 1-loss team? Do you put them in over like a 2-loss Bama when Bama lost to Georgia and LSU?
See, that's kind of like, and it had to be later in the season for me to like really dive on this, and I can talk about this for hours. But like, I would always take a 2-loss Bama over a 1-loss Power 5 team, only if that 1-loss Power 5 didn't win their conference. Now, if you're a Power 5 and you win your conference and you're 1-loss, then I think you're in over a 2-loss like Ohio State, Michigan, Bama that didn't win their conference. But like, yeah, it's like once it gets like, obviously it's not close, but like I always have like takes on that. Like I just think that it matters who you lose to, but yeah, I'm always big on 2-loss, like a 2-loss Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, getting in, kind of basically your blue bloods, your top 5 usually, as opposed to a 1-loss team. But if that didn't win there, because what happens usually is like we have like a team in like the Big 12 who's like undefeated, and then they lose in their conference title game and trick it off. So then like at that point, I don't think you get in. But yeah.
Are blue bloods going to become less powerful with the transfer portal and NIL and all that? Like maybe a 5-star won't want to be on the bench for 2 years now.
I think the great ones adapt. And I think like you look at Bama and Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, like the process is the process. Like they are who they are because they're able to adapt and see changes coming. So I don't think like there's ever going to be a time where like Bama's terrible. Like that just won't happen because they have Nick Saban. Everyone always says like his reign is going to come to an end. No one wants to play for him. They're going to go play for Prime, like all that. Like, okay, like, but he'll find a way. Like no. So to answer your question, no. As long as those guys are there, no.
I agree because like they built it up. They're there for a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, then I think you got anything else for us before we get out of here?
I don't, and still, baby.
We'll see. I agree. I think it would be pretty crazy and probably kind of cool if Strickland won, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
It would not be cool, bro. Then we got to see him fight again. I'm not trying to see that shit.
Yeah, that's true. It goes from fight night, main event in the Apex to middleweight
Yeah.
champ.
Yeah.
We shall see. It's a crazy
UFC
sport.
5 drops, by the way. UFC 5, see that?
Yeah, covers look whack, bro.
Yeah, it's weird.
Why don't they use a picture? Like they have the animated person on the cover.
Yeah.
Izzy's did not look good compared to the last one.
Yeah,
Just like video game Izzy. Let's just get a real picture out there.
yeah.
Izzy's a fucking superstar, baby. And still,
You
let's
think-
rock.
You think Valentina deserved it, or you think it should have been Sugar?
I think, I don't know. I think it was too soon for Sugar. It was obviously already announced
Yeah.
before this. But I don't know. Valentina, you can have a non-champion on there?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, look at the era. The next game probably won't come out for another 5-6 years. It's gonna be Sugar's era, so they're gonna wish he was on the cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guarantee you, in 5 years, like new like kids, and this is no shot at Valentina because she's a goat, but kids will be downloading the game. They're gonna be like, "Who's that? Who's that blonde
Yeah.
girl on the cover next to Volt?" Whereas if it was Sugar, they'd be like, "Oh, Sugar and Volt, I'm gonna buy that." So, yeah, somebody always fighting for Sugar out here.
Yeah, facts.
All right,
Rock.
then.
Be on
I'll
Monday
see
with the
you-
Cowboys
see you
1-0,
Monday.
baby. See you soon.
Hell no. All right, later.